Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Jerusalem Connection Red Alert Report. Today we have a special guest joining us from Israel, Dudi Lev in English. Many folks call him David, but I'm going to call him Dudi. That's how we say it in Hebrew. Dudi is a veteran of the IDF, and he has an extremely unique story as well as an important vantage point as Christians all over the world, and especially us here in America and North America. We need to understand what is happening in the Israeli population, where so many of the citizens are serving and are dealing with the aftermath of that service, as well as the ongoing war post October 7th. So, Dudi, welcome to our program. We are so privileged to have you join us. I really want you to just explain to our audience, who you are and what is your experience as a soldier and as a citizen. And we're going to talk a little bit about your journey with the help of the Friends of the IDF, an organization that's integral in serving the Israeli community in this warring situation that's ongoing in Israel. So welcome to the program, and please tell us a little bit about yourself.
So first of all, thank you for having me. So my name is David. I'm 51 years old now. I'm serving the military since I was 18. I was during my first years, many years, I've been in the Commando Special Units of Israel, a unit called Duvdevan. And the last few years, I'm serving as a combat warrior and as a terror and fighting instructor, urbanic fighting instructor for the IDF. My last position with being an instructor is being second in command of Metula Defense Brigade. That's where the 7th of October caught me, being at home and getting news about war starting in the south, while me and my friends trying to understand how we are going south to help people, and specifically one of my old unit friend that has been in Kibbutz Cholik, that has been through terrible tragedy there. We got notification that we're gonna be listed in a matter of minutes because probably the Hezbollah are gonna take us from the north in the few coming minutes, hours, something like that. Everyone thought that the attack from the south is the first step in trying to conquer Israel from few directions. For our knowledge, the attack was supposed to start at the north, specifically in my town, my village, called Metula.
And Metula is very close to the Lebanon border, is it not?
Not close. Metula is like peninsula inside Lebanon. Metula is surrounded like 270 degrees in Lebanon soil. And around those 270 degrees, there are something between 5 or 6 Shiite villages that everyone there is Hezbollah terrorist. Our intelligence told us that we were supposed to be ready for attack like between 2,000 and 3,000 terrorists trying to conquer only our village, Metula. And our village is the village of something like 2,200 people, civilians, not soldiers. And we were supposed to wait for something again between 2,000 to 3,000 terrorists trying to conquer Metula. Metula specifically is something with the psychology value because there is no one in Israel that doesn't know Metula. Now, let's say if you're sitting drinking beer in Eilat and you're hearing in the news Metula has been conquered, that's a huge thing. A huge thing. That's for the 7th of October. So we got listed right early in the morning and we went out our defense brigade, which were something like between 35 to 40 people. And we were lying on the fences, waiting for civilians to leave the village down south. and waiting for the military to bring his infantry brigades, which been took at them something between almost 48 hours. And those 48 hours, we were supposed to be the only 40 people who trying to fight against thousands of Hezbollah terrorists. Those were the first 2 days for us. After that, when the infantry reserve brigades came to Metula, we joined them in the effort to save the village. We suffered lots of missiles attack on the village. They destroyed something like between 60 to 70% of our buildings in the village. My personal connection to that is that my sister home got hit by 3 anti-tank missiles and got destroyed completely. They were trying to get inside the village to Metula a few times during the war, but lucky for us, we successfully succeeded to prevent that from them. And that's like very, very big terms how we've been through those months until the IDF decided and government decided that we are going to fight inside Lebanon.
Wow.
Those were very difficult times. We all our defense brigade were living homes, and we slept in some bunker in the middle of the village for those, at least until I got wounded, for those 10 months. And from there, we were going out with the military to all kind of operations. The military the defense brigade of Metula is something between semi-civilian and semi-military unit. So we are supposed to go and serve with the military, and in this at that time we supposed to help to Metula municipality to fulfill some kind of civilian help, for like if they shot missiles and fire started somewhere, we were supposed to be the one that turn off the fire. Fire department did not want to go up to Metula at those times. That's it, and those are we've been through those. They served a lot after me because I got wounded. But at least until my day, those was the days for us.
Now tell us if you're able to tell us a little bit about when and how, or the nature of when you were wounded and what progressed for you at that point. So you mentioned that you were in Metula in this bunker serving to protect the village and assist the municipality and the military. So when and what was it, about 10 months after October 7th? What happened to you?
Again, for me, it was a 10-month. My friends stayed there a lot after that. I got wounded, so I left, fortunately, the place. So you want to know about my injury now? So I will tell you. At the 23rd of June, 23rd of June in 24, one of our mission was to escort some family that came to the village because day before their home got hit by 2 missiles, and they wanted to come home and try to see if there is something of souvenirs, pictures, or every precious thing that they can save from their home. Our mission was to escort them up to the mountain neighborhood. Metula is built up from 2 neighborhoods, the village and the mountain. We were supposed to escort them to the mountain neighborhood, and while they are doing what they want to do at home, we were supposed to take some position and give some kind of lookout to one of the villages that called El Khiyam, which is the main village that they shot missiles on our village. While we are expecting to see if they're launching something, we were supposed to notify them in it's a matter of seconds, but at least give them something like 3, 4, 5 seconds to get inside their own private shelter inside the home. Because in Metula, every home has a room that serves you as a shelter. While we are going up, it was something like around 9 in the evening. We met them at the Metula gate and we debriefed them about what's going to be, how they're going to drive after us and everything. And while going up to the mountain, to the neighborhood, we are already caught in an anti-tank missile ambush. They shot a missile on my car, which was the first car that going up. The missile hit something like 4 or 5 meters of us because we were still driving. The blast just crashed the car, and all of the blast came up on me. All my left side of the body got ripped away, including my eyes, my ears, ribs. My belly got exploded completely. My left leg got exploded completely. And with that, my right hand got completely destroyed. My friend that were in the car with me, after the few first seconds that we were shocked, like he tried to pull me out of the wreck of the car and laid me down in a canal that was on the other side of the road, and immediately called for evacuation for us. There were some few guys that came up to the mountain with the agriculture cars, like I don't know how you call it, but light vehicles, because we didn't want the ambulance going up. Whenever every car going to go up is going to be another target for the Hezbollah missiles.
Right.
We were lying there in the canal for a few moments. It was seems like almost a year that gone by there, screaming ourselves, bleeding to death there. I already lost one of my eyes that time.
Wow.
The second eye was full of blood because the blast was all over my face, all over my body. I still have lots of pieces of metal inside my body.
Wow.
It was dark like hell for me. And then they came, pulled me out of the canal, throw me on the vehicle, and took me out of there to the medical treatment. They did what they have to do, and after that, they evacuated me out of Metula down to Kiryat Shmona, and then the military chopper came of special units and took me to Rambam Hospital in Haifa.
Okay.
My injuries it wasn't it was a critical injury.
Mhm.
First of all, I lost lots of blood, and again, what made this from hard injury to critical injury is all my belly got exploded inside from the blast. The hospital sleep for almost a week, and then I stayed in hospitals for something like 4.5 months
Wow.
before I started rehabilitation. Since then, it was almost a year since I left hospitals, and I'm still in rehabilitation, mentally and physically.
Well, that was my next question. You must have had extraordinary doctors and medical personnel to treat your physical wounds and put you to back together such as you are, because I mean you look good. I mean you don't look like a man that was blown up 14 months ago or so. But I understand that those physical wounds have lasting effects. You have this metal in you, you have permanent injuries, physical injuries, I'm certain, that you have to deal with, and physical pain. But at the same time, you also have to deal with the psychological, emotional, and mental aftermath of it being experiencing such an attack. It's something that very few people on this planet could ever be able to relate to, except for perhaps other soldiers or victims that are in the middle of war. So the Friends of the IDF, they have several outreaches that support the Israeli community, the soldiers as well as the civilians, as everybody in Israel is somehow directly affected by the war that started on October 7th. And as you mentioned, there are multiple fronts. You know, the news talks about Gaza, which of course is important, but we often forget here in the West about the threat from the North and what Hezbollah had been threatening and what they actually accomplished with their missile strikes. So there's this constant fear, right? Or this constant realization that attacks can come from any side. So tell us about, if you're able to, tell us a little bit about your journey as your body's healing, what you're going through psychologically, what you were going through as you try to go home and relate to your family, your children, and and dealing with your community members, including your family, that are still actively engaged in this war that's basically in your own backyard. I mean, in America, we have soldiers that deal with physical and emotional injuries, but they're diluted in a bigger population that's not daily affected by what's going on, and they serve an ocean away. They don't necessarily serve where you're protecting your own village and your own community and your own family from a direct threat. So can you share with us that journey that you've taken to heal within your heart, to heal in your mind and your soul, and that or healing process that's still ongoing?
Okay, so first of all, I will start at the end of the things that you said. For us, fighting or serving is not ocean away, is serving and defending home, because my personal apartment in Metula, in my village, was something like 300 meters of defense, the border fence between me and Lebanon. So that's what we are talking about. 300 meters, nothing more than that. It's literally defending all. And for us, it's an holy mission. Holy mission. My mother lives in the village, my sister and her husband and their 3 kids living in the village. And for me, defending that, it's like defending my family, defending my home, defending my friend. It's an holy mission.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we treat it. That's something that makes me today mentally stronger and able to try and fight any mentally difficulties that I have today. And for the treatment, like, let's start with it's a very short thing, but physically, my rehabilitation is still happening today in 5 days a week. But one of the most important thing, even more than physically, because I know that physically I'm going to have some kind of limits to my rehabilitation. I'm already there, already meeting my limits. I know what's going to be fixed, what's not going to be fixed. But for mentally treatment, since I left the hospital and came in Haifa, there is a place that called the Warrior House. It's a place that all the veterans comes and getting treatments, and it's like a place for meetings with other guys that've been through what you've been. And no one there's judging you. No one there expecting you for nothing. Like, let's sit, a couple of guys, and just not saying nothing, and everyone knows what the other one's feeling.
Right.
The Warrior House gives us mental treatment in the FIDF founded clinics. And there I have some guy called Michael. And for me, Michael is like a savior. After my injury, after I left the hospital and started my mental treatment in those FIDF clinics, I was a wreck. I
Sure.
was angry. I was disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you something funny, but for me, one of my biggest wishes and I don't think there is something better to achieve for a man, is to die for his country. This is my second time in the military that I'm getting wounded very hard. I got wounded in Hebron 30 years ago.
Wow.
This is my second time, but this time is critical injury. The first time was a bad injury, but I rehabilitated from that. And I was disappointed that I didn't succeed. I don't know. I'm going to handle the rest of my life with my injuries. So Michael in those founded clinics made me some kind of a project, and there's not going through not a week that going through without me needing him to talk and to understand things. The most important thing that Michael did for me is taking my PTSD and know how to talk about it. Being able to talk about it, which I didn't did before him. And now I know to say that my PTSD is separated to three different boxes. One of them is like my injury, whatever I'm suffering mentally for my injury, my fears. I'm afraid of darkness, or everything like that. The second box is my evacuation process. How I gone through the hospital from being a strong man, a very strong man. My friend used to call me, like, Caterpillar D9. That was my nickname, D9. So I was a very strong man, and lying in hospital for 2.5 months that people need to shower you and take you to the bathroom, and like, what? I'm so needed. So that's a tough thing to go through. And the third box is my self grief. There is a huge process that I'm going through with myself, with that self grief. Thinking every day about what Dudi has been and what became of Dudi from right now. And just being able to talk about it and to know how to separate between those things, that's all thanks to Michael, my mental treatment in those FIDF clinics. And that's an important thing. Before Michael, and in the few first months that I've been at Michael treatment, I never left home for the first month. I was in some kind of shock, like, wow, how did I survive that? I didn't want to see no one. My mother and my sister had been coming to my apartment now. The Ministry of Defense holds me now in an apartment in Haifa because I need to be close to the rehabilitation. I cannot go back to my village right now until I'm going to finish my rehabilitation process. So
Sure.
I'm living in Haifa right now, and I'm all alone. I have 3 kids, and 2 of them are serving in the military right now too. One of them is infantry brigade serving in Gaza Strip right now, fighting there.
Wow.
And my oldest daughter is 22. She served as a combat soldier, and she finished her service and joined as a work to the military. But she gone through now from being a combat soldier to intelligence unit. So I'm all alone here, and don't want to don't want to meet no one. It's only me, and the first few months I could not even keep my dog. He was at my mother's house. I didn't saw him for something like almost 10 months
Wow.
till the last Passover. That was the first time that I saw him after I got wounded. And those were difficult days, just sitting at home, drinking myself out, uh, not sleeping at night, not sleeping in days. And Michael is again is some kind of a savior. And what I think is the best thing in Michael and is those treatments of those FIDF clinics, that Michael is so smart in making some kind of manipulations, mental manipulations on me, and he's not judging me and telling me like you need to do that and you're suffering from that or nothing like that. He always asks me questions and makes me tell the things and makes me tell the answers too, and that makes it very easy for me to handle myself after that. Like, okay, wow, I just said that, wow, and I know the answer. No, it not specifically helps me like during nights or stuff like that, but it gives me a way to put everything in proportion for right now.
So Mikhail is he's an asset with the Friends of the IDF, with the Warrior House, and it is because of that organization's ability to find folks that have the training and the skill set to reach out to soldiers such as yourselves. The Friends of the IDF also offers similar services to the civilian population, correct? Like the families, the bereaved families, and because the civilian population is also suffering its own unique form of PTSD. Of course, it's different than yours. It's coupled with this physical assault and healing. So how do you feel that your journey has brought you to a period where you're recognizing the help that you got from Mikhail and how much of a blessing he is to get you to process and be able to talk about what happened to you, and how do you see that flooding out to your peers, to other men and women who have suffered injuries and experienced the PTSD as soldiers in the war? I mean, how do you see it? Do you engage with your fellow soldiers that are in a similar position, who are along a similar journey that you're on? Do you feel a way that you can turn around and take your experience and share it with others, or are you still processing your own journey in a way that you're trying to figure out sort of that post injured Dudi? What will he end up doing in the
Well,
community?
I will answer to you about it in two different things, about me and about others. I first of all have to tell you some kind of short story. I have a father, my father passed away 5 years ago, but he was a combat soldier in the paratroopers parachutes recon unit. And they've been in the war of Yom Kippur, have been through some major event, lost all of his crew members. He was the only one that survived this event in the down at the Egypt front line.
Mm-hmm.
My father suffered from severe PTSD. Severe PTSD. He could not handle living inside the family anymore. He left us when I was very young and moved to live alone. And only after many years, I succeeded to understand a little bit of what is going. And because of that, for me, it's such an important thing to have those FIDF clinics, because today, when I'm sitting with my mother and my sister, only today I can sit with them and explain them what I'm going through. That's an amazing thing, to let your people who surround you, your family, understand what you are going through. Don't think that I'm depressed for nothing. Don't think that I'm angry for nothing. Don't think that I want to cry for nothing. You need to understand why sometimes some things in life today doesn't seem to be so okay. I've been after such a huge thing, such a huge event, that sometimes different things doesn't seems to be that important. Then they need to understand why is it. And without those clinics, I could not explain that to them. And for the other part of your questions, I think that every veteran of the war today understands what the significance of mental treatment. Those mental treatments are something that happening in Israel only in the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
For me, for my father, no one knew what is the PTSD.
That's
No
right.
one knew that. No one heard about it. No one thought that a combat soldier can suffer for something like PTSD. For me, in my first injury 30 years ago in Hebron, no one talked to me about PTSD. If I have some mental issues with my injury or with something about it, no one talked with me. No one cared about it.
Wow.
Today, everyone knows that this is an important thing. This is one of your rehabilitation aspects that you must take care of it. Otherwise, you're not going to continue with your life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Nothing can happen with your life. You're going to destroy yourself with your nerves, with your depression, with everything. So you don't need to talk about. You don't need to recommend anyone. Everyone waiting for that. You can see young guys from the military, older guys like me that serves for decades already in the military, just waiting for those mental treatments. When I was lying 4.5 months in hospital, I was anxious to talk with someone.
Mm.
There was no one to talk with. Only
Wow.
when I moved to the warrior house to rehabilitation in Haifa, then I started to get mental treatment. Then Michael came. Then the FIDF founded clinics came, and then suddenly I have some kind of strong program that's gonna take me and try to help me understand things, try to make me see things differently that I saw him for the last month since my injury.
Dudi, this organization, the Friends of the IDF, they have a website, blessisraelsoldiers.org, blessisraelsoldiers.org. I want everybody out there listening or watching this to be able to check that website and see how you can help contribute. Dudi, the fact that the whole issue of PTSD and the fact that it wasn't really recognized during your father's era and even during your early years serving, and now, especially since October 7th, but I'm sure it was sort of gelling as an area of study and a need for the soldiers as well as the citizenry. Since October 7th, it's become such an abundant need and service. And hearing your story, I just realized that we can heal the body as best we can, right? But unless you're able to, as an individual, process and speak about what's going on, your relationships suffer, and your ability to be resilient and live the rest of your life will suffer. So I see the Friends of the IDF and their programs that they have all throughout Israel so that the population can find clinics that is relatively close to their home and not have to travel that far. Do you feel like there's hope with these kind of services and organization that relationships can be repaired and families can stay intact, whether it's husbands and wives, sons and parents, daughters and parents, fathers and their children? You said you have 3 children.
Yes.
I mean, what is your hope and your words for all of us to know that as we all contribute to support these services that can help men and women in your situation, how that ripples into the community by way of your family, your relationships, and then the community?
Well, I tell you, first of all, in short answer, definitely yes. There is no way, I think there is nothing that can compare to those treatments for us. And I will tell you in few words, as I told you before a few minutes ago, I have a son now. He's a combat soldier in the Golani Brigades, serving in a Gaza Strip now already for a few months. And without those mental treatments, I don't think that I could handle the stress being a father for a combat soldier in the Gaza Strip now and handling the stress after my 2 injuries, knowing what he can go through there and still try to live my life as simple as I'm trying. Again, of course, that's got any impact of my relationship with my mother, with my sister, with all of my family, no doubt about it. But I'm only that little thing about my son. Without those mental treatments, I don't know how I could go through that period of time.
I mean, I can only imagine knowing what you've gone through. Yeah, it could be debilitating just thinking about him all day, knowing what could happen, even if he's safe at the moment and stays safe. Yeah, it could just cripple your ability to function.
Only knowing the danger that is being there prevents you from sleeping for weeks. And who, like me, can tell what you can go through?
So, if I may switch gears just a little bit, if we have a few minutes, can you tell us about your dog? I don't know if you can bring him into the screenshot and let us see him, but tell us a little bit about. I know that the Friends of the IDF have a therapy dog program, but your dog is not part of that program, but he is part of your life and your healing. So introduce us to him.
This is Deco, a Belgian Shepherd, Malinois, is 4 years old. I got him since he was 2 months. The first 2 years of his life, he was a working dog. We trained them to be a dog for chasing. If Metula had some kind of invasion through the fence, he was trained to go up catch the smell of the people, of the men that crossed the fence, chase him out, and if needed, to attack him. And we are running after him, getting to this man. He was trained for that. Lucky for me, for him, never have the chance to work with that. At the 7th of October, when my mom left the village, and my sister, all of my family, she took Echo with her, renting a place in near Haifa in the Krayot area. I was trying to see him as much as I can during the war, maybe once a week, twice a week, coming for a few hours just to see him, take him out to walk and to tour a little bit. And since the 23rd of June 24, when I got injured, I didn't saw him for something like 10 months. He was with my mother that period of time. And again, because I'm living alone, this is something like my little baby, that dog. And first meeting him after 10 months was like, he's crying and I'm crying like, I don't know. I cried like a little baby. And since there we are at home together. Echo is the first reason that I'm waking him up in the morning and going out of home. I need to take him out. I need to take him out at noon. I need to take him out in the evening. We are going almost every day to Mount Carmel or to some deserted location and walking together, throwing the ball, letting him run and chasing cows in the forest and stuff like that. So that's Echo for me is something like a therapy dog, but he's not a therapy dog.
He's not officially a therapy dog, but he's certainly therapeutic.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
So I mean, it's inspirational for me to see how that relationship and that companionship you have with Echo, like you said, it gives you that purpose in the morning to get up and to go out and to do things and to live the day outside of your own sort of emotional, the emotional, just the aftermath that you're constantly fighting and as you mentioned earlier, sort of have to compartmentalize in order to recognize, but at the same time you have joy and you
So
recognize it.
I need to tell you something. Because that my injury was during night, and because that I lost my eyes, one eye, and the other one was in a problem for a couple of days. I have lots of problem with darkness today, and one of the reasons that I can go inside my bedroom and try to stay in my bed, that's because he is next to me.
That's good. I mean, yeah, that's just we have a little saying here in America. I don't know if they have it in Israel, but for dog lovers here, that that dogs are God's way of sending us angels that don't have any wings.
No doubt about it. I can agree more than that.
Dudi, we just appreciate your willingness to come and share your story, that we could recognize the trauma that you soldiers like you in your situation are dealing with, and that we have an avenue to help to participate in that healing. BlessIsraelSoldiers.org, the Friends of the IDF and the Warrior House that they support. They have a variety of programs in this regard to help the citizens of Israel. And we as Christians are commanded to bless Israel, and we are also commanded to pray for Israel and support its people. So, Dudi, we want to continue in that effort. So we're happy that you're able to share your story so that we can compel those of us here in the West to actually activate and participate in things that can help us serve you and your community better. So thank you so much for your time today.
I want to say thank you too for that option to come and tell my story. And I want to say thank you for the guys that donate the donate. I want to say thank you for the FIDF founded clinics that because of your donations they can handle guys like me. And I wish something good gonna come out from this interview.
I think so. I think at the very least you'll be an inspiration to others and inspire people to actually contribute to continue the good work and have more people like Mikhail be there to serve the community across Israel.
Thank you very much.
Shavua Tov.
שבוע טוב.
עם ישראל, עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי. עם ישראל, עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי. עם ישראל, עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי.